Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to another video. Today we are here for episode number 22 of Goattville building. We are over here at the city once again to work on the museum. And here it is. We did some considerable progress with it last episode, and I made some very obvious changes. Most obvious of one is I put those banners in front. You know, those whenever you have those museums, they always have the banners in front of the columns that are, you know, depicting what's happening in the museum. So I just spelt out Gaia, put a nice lovely detail, little underline at the bottom. That's because this museum is mostly going to be dedicated to Gaia, the Gaia community server, my experiences with it. And I'm guessing that like around 99% of my audience right now has no idea what that is, but don't worry. When this is all completed, you will have a very good understanding of it because, you know, I've always wanted to make some sort of tribute to Gaia since it's been over a year since it's last been like somewhat active. I believe it like officially just sort of died out last summer. So yeah, it's been well over a year since all that happened. So yeah, I just decided that was going to be the main thing of this museum. This museum was supposed to be dedicated to, like, you know, my channel, all the stuff that I do, all my projects, and the future of it and stuff like that. But I decided this time we'd have a bit of a theme because the Goattville Museum is very general in terms of everything it has, and it's also I can't do too much with it because in Minecraft stuff isn't too museum worthy, especially in creative. But here I feel like this would be something interesting, and to make like this entire museum in a whole Gaia theme, I got some great plans for it. So I've done some considerable work to the exterior. As you can see, I built out some of the roof a little bit, and I worked on some of the other side of this building right here. So in the last episode we did a lot of the progress there, but you know, I just added in some finishing touches, which mostly consisted of the roof, fixed up the tunnel a little bit, so you know, now it's nicely detailed, and I think it looks pretty good. You know, it wasn't as perfect as I expected, but I still think it turned out pretty good. I think I might maybe put in like a series of stairs right here that go up to the second floor, so you can have access to the second floor from here. I feel like that will kind of balance out the tunnel going through there. You know, it just looks kind of weird how it just goes in straight through the middle. So aside from that, you know, I just did some minor additions to the exterior. There's nothing much else to say about it, so I suppose we could just get right into work with this episode. Probably going to include a lot of time lapses or jump cuts because there's a lot of filling in stuff that we have to do. But I think the first thing to take care of is the back, because we can't quite get into the interior planning unless we got an idea of what the exterior is. So I think it's going to be something relatively similar to the front, but with some minor changes. And I'm looking at this right now. Is this properly lined up? That doesn't look like it's lined up. It looks like it's like one block off. Like that. Let's get a map out and let's check that, because I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but it would be kind of nice. Let's see, we're at -303. And oh, I know we are lined up. Interesting. Everything's looking all weird, but let's build this column up right here just because, you know, just to make everything nice and even. And on the back, I don't want it to be too similar to the front just because it would be incredibly boring. So I think what I'm going to do is take a more wider and repetitive approach to everything. Like, everything's going to be not as big and massive and elaborate as the front. It's instead going to have a bit more of a simpler theme, because that's the part, it's going to be the part that's going to be overlooking a part of the zoo that I'm going to have back here. So I feel like it shouldn't be too crazy in its design, and it can have like a nice balcony where the people can come back and overlook it. I think that would be quite nice. So I suppose I can get into some of the planning of that. I would, you know, do a live commentary over it, but that'd probably kill my my viewer retention. So I'm just going to what did I pick? Stone. I'm going to use quartz to sort of plan this out, so I'm just going to do a quick time-lapse, I guess. That would be the best thing to do, and just sort of plan all of this out. So yeah, I will see you then. Alright, and here we are, about 5 minutes later, just sort of putting down a general design, and I think this actually turned out quite nice. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and of course I'm far from completing the design, but I just decided I'd stop right now to just sort of, recap over my progress real quick, because that was supposed time lapse was probably going to be a lot longer than I expected it to, but hopefully the Minecraft music will make it a good bit better. So I just brought out that side a little bit. I couldn't bother to put the second layer of glass panes on because those are always so difficult to to work with because they're so thin, but I decided to bring those out in like a nice interesting circle shape. So we're gonna have a nice lovely little not really a semicircle, but close enough, and then right here we're just gonna have like a nice wide just wall, pretty much just a wall, and of course I'll have some windows in there to add some detail to it. And on the back we're gonna have a nice lovely little balcony right here, or maybe not like a balcony, but just a place to walk around, and it will expand out a little bit more towards that way, just so it has some proper space. And as I was building this, I'm like, what, this really is getting some White House vibes, but it's not it's not too bad a look of a building, so I figured it could still be good here. So I guess I could continue with this, but this time do a quick jump cut to when it's all sort of fixed up, and I'll have everything all planned out, and then we can get into some detail work with the a little bit later. So we're done with all that in 3, 2, 1. I probably got a bit too carried away with doing all the details, but here it is in all of its glory. I'm not too sure I can't really remember how it looked before all of this, but it's turned out pretty good, I think. Of course, this isn't in its complete detail. I need to fix up the windows on that side, and of course all the way down there. But this is sort of just the semi-completed design that I'm going with. It's got a nice wide approach as what I was going for. This bit up here for the roof was one of the most interesting parts because it goes up in like a triangle like that, but then it spirals out like a circle. So I think that was quite interesting, turned out quite well. And then we just have the bit of the roof which came all the way from the front, just going to the back, and I have it go like that just so it adds a little bit of it compensates for the tininess of that roof right there. So anyway, I figured we can get into the interior, but first, before that, usually at the end of my videos I tell the viewers to leave something in the comments to let me know that they watch through the whole video, but this time we're gonna do it in the middle because I noticed that my ratio of people leaving the comments to the number of views has been slowly increasing. So I'm gonna test to see if anyone's if people are actually watching the videos or just catching on with the trend. So this time we're gonna do it in the middle of the video, and we're gonna make it something interesting. So comment just a single word, and that single word is like just a nice sounding word from the English language. So if I were to do it, it'd be something like Stratosphere or Empire or Coagulated or something like that. So just leave a plain single word in the comments. They're going to be so confused when they just see a bunch of people commenting a bunch of random nonsense. But alright, anyway, now we need to fill up all the other times that way that's in the middle of the video instead. So this time we get to see who the real fans are. So I figured since we did the back already, we can just get right into the interior, because this side is going to have a relatively similar style to the one over there. Actually, probably will be kind of identical, except it won't have a massive hole going right into the wall. So this time we're just going to, I suppose we can just get started with this. I'm just going to sort of plan everything out, and I don't know why I keep grabbing stone. It's such an ugly block to use. This time we're going to use red wool. Where's the red wool? This is usually a good planning block, or blue wool, because blue is a better color. So we're just going to plan this out. The doors are going to be right there. Actually, I'm going to change the location of the doors because they're kind of buried behind this column. Before I had it, the columns weren't there. I actually had to spread them out a bit. I had to make 5 columns instead of the original 4, so that there can be 4 banners like that. So I'm going to have to move some of the doors over there, and then the other bit of the door right there, so we can get to that later. But luckily we're not getting into the specifics of the interior yet, so we're just going to find the middle point. We don't have to find exactly where it is, but just to have a nice visual reference right here will be a lot easier than just using the map and finding the coordinates, or just lining my crosshairs up to figure it out. So this is where the middle is. I suppose we can build this out a little bit more. And in the middle, it's going to be something similar to what we did in the other museum, except it's going to be a bit more symmetrical. Instead of over here, you know, we have this nice little open bit in the middle where the plesiosaur skeleton is. In this case, for the other one, for the other museum, it's going to be right in the middle, and it's not going to be so much buried off away from everything. It's going to be like the first thing you walk into, pretty much. So this will be the entrance right here, and instead of closing it off like with a big wall right there, instead it's just going to be a nice, lovely hallway that leads right into it. And we're going to have this nice, beautiful open area in the middle that's not going to be rectangular. It's going to be circular, because circular is a more elegant of a shape. And in the middle, we're going to have just a massive hole leading all the way down to the very bottom of here, and then going all the way up to the very top, where we'll probably make a little circular hole in the roof, cover it with glass, just so it makes a bit more sense. And this is where we're going to put a massive tree, the massive weeping willow, as it was called in Gaia. And we're just going to put a smaller scale replica of that in there. So let's see, it's kind of hard to figure out these blocks in the dark, so I suppose we can just mine away them. So we're going to go over 10. Would 10 be good enough? We'll figure that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's do it for the other side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Would that be good enough for a circle? I mean, it's already taking up a good amount of space. I feel like that's kind of small. Let's make it 12. 12 is still a pretty good number. Is that good? Let's start building out some of the circles. So to build the circle, we're just going to go 2 like that, another 2, and then maybe 1. Hold on. Making these circles is a bit weird. We're going to go out 3 instead, right? How much should we go out? Let's go out 3. So we're going to have to change all this up. That's 3, that's 2. We should probably make this 3 as well, and then it can go to 2. So if that's 3, then that wall's going to be 7. No, we want it to be 5. Okay, we're going to just change everything up. So that wall's going to be 5, this one's going to be 3, then it's going to go to 2, and then it can go to 1. So more changes. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 2, and then we can just put these together like that. And there we go. That actually turned out really nice. And so is that big enough? Is that a good distance? It's kind of hard to see, you know, just basing the shadows off of, you know, the already dark environment that we're in right now. So is that big enough? If you're on the other side, you'd be like all the way over here, which is, I suppose it's somewhat decent, but I think we can go a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to quickly do all of this, make a little circular round, so we can get into some more interesting stuff. So I'll see you then. Alright, this is an absolutely massive circle, but that's exactly what we wanted. Actually turned out quite nice. I'm just worried that this is not going to be enough space for the little entrance bit. Actually, you know what? It should be fine. You know, it's not going to be as big as I expected it to be, but it's still good. This massive circle in the middle is just as I wanted it to be, because, you know, filling up this center space with the tree is going to be incredibly easy, of course, because, you know, it's just having something incredibly massive in a space like that is very easy to make it look great, but, you know, filling in all the other areas is actually going to be quite difficult, because in the museum, you know, I can easily fill up this middle spot with the plesiosaur skeleton, but even something as similar, as small as this back space was proving to be quite the challenge for me. So I don't really need to worry too much about all of the extra space in the museum, because it's not going to be too filled up anyway, so we don't have to worry too much about that. So I would consider ending the episode sometime soon, because I'm not too sure how long it's actually been going on for. So I suppose what else could we do? One more thing to do before we close off the episode. I suppose we could start working on the exterior part of it, because I have these little door bits right here, which is where, let's get through the doors real quick. There we go. Those are where the doors will be, which will lead onto the nice back balcony, which will lead into the zoo, which will be all over there, and maybe a little bit over there, who knows. So I suppose we can get started with that and figuring out what the balcony is going to look like. So I suppose we can do this live. Let's see. Let's get some chiseled quartz out, and we can have it branch off from here, right in the middle of where the circle goes out, and I should probably count that to make sure we're doing something right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. A nice, lovely, even, kind of not really even, 15. So bring this out. I think this will be plenty of space. It doesn't have to be something absolutely massive, but it'll be something quite nice. And there we go. We just have that bit done, and I suppose I can just film the rest of this real quick. Let's get some. What would make for a good material? Stone is nice and relatively universal in terms of how it looks, and it's nice, lovely concrete color. I think that could work. Let's see how this would look. We just had stone skewing about here. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's what we had in the front as well, right? Let's do a quick check to make sure. See if... Oh yeah, that's what we did in the front. So yeah, everything will be nice and perfectly balanced. So, perfectly balanced as all things should be. I never saw that film actually, but I hear that quote all the time. But anyway, I suppose we can just sort of get started with this. I don't feel like filling all of this in with, you know, filler talk. But you know, it's only 15 rows. I suppose why not? I suppose I can talk about the videos I've been making recently, and I just realized, ooh, oh, if I did not make this right, did I? All right, let's see. Where's the? If this is where the doors are, hold on, let's see. This is where the doors are. The windows are going to be very tall. Well, I can easily change the doors. I can't change all the windows. So instead what we're going to do is make those at one block up above here. Perfect. This is where it's supposed to be. Oh, so I've been putting this stuff at the wrong level. That's great. I suppose I could just start filling this in right now. And putting in some filler talk. So basically... I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I was going to talk about stuff like my videos and stuff like that, and like of course they haven't been getting as much views as they used to a year ago and stuff like that. But I'm like enjoying making them a lot more because it's not as stressful. I'm not worrying every single day to make, you know, 30 hours worth of content for, you know, just a simple episode that I'll record for 10 minutes at the end of the week without putting in any proper efforts. So I think these videos are quite nice, and also like my whole objective with this channel has kind of shifted. It used to be, you know, to you know, make, you know, be somewhat sustainable, some like that would have a proper reason for me to continue it, you know, more than just, oh, it's fun, I like making videos. But now I have like other ambitions and stuff like that. YouTube is, you know, still something I do, of course, which I have fun doing, but now I'm mostly just sort of, I'm gonna make videos because I actually like to make them, and I'm gonna make them how I want to make them. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, making you know, the videos are going to get the most content or the most views and stuff like that. Instead, I'm just going to make them as I please. And you know, there's a few number of people out there that still enjoy them, so as long as we got some people out there, then I guess it's somewhat worth it. But aside from that, I mean, what else was I going to say? It was something about I completely forgot. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure we just got all of this all the stuff that I wanted to get done down. And hopefully if I remember it by the end of the video, then maybe I can include that. If not, then we'll have to wait until next episode. But yeah, I suppose this is how it's looking so far. It's actually looking quite nice, actually. I like it. We'll fill in that spot. We'll put like a nice lovely little garden in there, maybe in a fountain with like some statue in there. That sounds pretty nice. Then we do the same thing on the other side. Fill in the rest of this with a nice lovely zoo. Oh man, I can already see it right now. It looks beautiful. I never actually, like, one of my main objectives, like, when Minecraft was first coming out, like, one of my first dreams of stuff like that, first I planned on making, like, you know, a city, as every person did, with, like, you know, an abundance of skyscrapers and, you know, intricate city streets and stuff like that. And Goattville has kind of lived up to that. They're not really, it's not really too grand, but it's a very nice looking city, the best city I've ever made, even though it's really only just one street going down that way. But I also always planned on I've always wished to make a nice lovely zoo, you know, ever since Minecraft came out 6 years ago, so I'll finally be able to fulfill that wish. I did try making one, like, it's gotta be 3.5 years ago or something like that, in early 2015. I still remember when I tried to do that. I did try making one, but it turned out quite awful, and I only put in a couple exhibits. But this next zoo is gonna look great. It's gonna look amazing. But anyway, aside from that, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!